of parental rights. I'm a mom of 7 and grandmother of 23. Woo! Because of this ruling, I was able to home educate all 7 of my children, and now my grandchildren are being home educated. But the fight is not over. Democrats from New York to California are coming after private, religious, and homeschooling education. These are the same people who do nothing but act as puppets for the corrupt teachers union. Our children are not wards of the state, and the Supreme Court affirmed this 100 years ago. Parents know best how to educate their children, and we must continue to defend their right to do so. Thank you for the work that each of you do, and may God continue to bless your efforts. And may I say that evil never retreats on its own, only when it's confronted by a more powerful force. Together, we are a force against evil. Thank you.
The child is not a mere creature of the state. With those words that were written a century ago, the United States Supreme Court stopped government overreach. It affirmed parental rights, and it rebuked the notion that government knows better than parents how to educate and raise their sons and daughters. Today, we commemorate the Pierce ruling, which affirmed educational freedom in this country. We also recommit to building a legacy so that one day all parents can have the opportunity to have their children educated in a high-quality environment that meets the child's needs and aligns with their family's values. Because we know that parents love their children most and they know their children best. I'm here on behalf of Alliance Defending Freedom. ADF is the largest legal organization that advances our God-given rights, including the right to direct the upbringing and education of our children. And we are privileged to become and be a part of this powerfully growing movement to defend parental rights, which has made tremendous strides over the last 100 years. Of the institutions that God created, the family, the church, and the government, we must remember that it is the family that came first. When our laws and our culture recognize this truth, individuals, communities, and this nation flourish. But today, unlike perhaps any other time in our history, parental rights are facing relentless attack, particularly in our public education system. All the while, we see religious education is thriving, classical education is expanding, homeschooling is the practice of millions of families. Parents need more options, not fewer. That is why at ADF we recently sued the Oklahoma Attorney General all the way to the Supreme Court because he refused to allow the existence of religious charter schools in the program. And while the court unfortunately recently tied 4-4 in a deadlock, such rank discrimination as described by Justice Kavanaugh at the oral argument will face future legal challenge. And we must realize that the worsening threats to parental choice, to parental rights, make the issue of school choice all the more urgent. Consider for a minute ADF client Dan and Jennifer Mead. Their school district in Michigan treated their daughter as a boy without their knowledge or their consent. The school staff referred to her by male names, male pronouns, all the while using her real name with their parents in an intent to deceive them. They only discovered this deception when the school failed to switch back their daughter's name on a report that was sent home. As good parents, they withdrew their child from the school. As good citizens, they sued that school. And while Dan was able to quit his job in order to homeschool their daughter to help bring healing, not every family has the means to do this. Parents need options. And it wasn't an isolated case. I could cite to you dozens of stories of people like Jennifer Bitsatsky, another ADF client. She trusted a school counselor and teachers who told her that they would help her 12-year-old daughter overcome anxiety and depression. But she too was deceived by the school. Not only did they treat her daughter as a boy, they directed medical providers to help assist her in a gender transition. Thankfully, Jennifer, too, was able to afford an alternative, withdrew her daughter to a Catholic and enrolled her in a Catholic school. But again, not every parent has this option. Parents need options. When a child is indoctrinated in class under anti-American ideology, when they are forced to endure extreme sex ed curriculum, when they are forced to share a locker room with the opposite sex or denied help to overcome gender confusion, parental rights are violated, and that fundamentally hurts our children and our nation. This is why at ADF, parental rights are of the highest priority. It's why we must expand educational options. It's why we sue school districts, and lots of them right now. It's why we're calling on Congress to pass the Families' Rights and Responsibilities Act, and it's why we work with state lawmakers to pass laws that protect the rights of parents to shape their children's hearts and their future, not just when they're at home, but when they enter those schoolhouse gates. We will not rest. Those up here will not rest. Those in this movement will not rest until the court reaffirms that parental rights are fundamental rights of the highest order in our constitutional system. And mark my words, we will win this battle for our children and for the sake of future generations. God bless you, and may God bless the Society of Sisters 100 years ago today.
Hi everyone, Sarah Parshall-Perry. I'm Vice President and Legal Counsel for Defending Education, formerly Parents Defending Education. The parents are still there, but we're in higher education now, so UC Berkeley, you better watch out. Today is a good day. Today we celebrate the 100th anniversary of a cornerstone of American liberty, the fundamental right of parents to direct the upbringing and education of their children. This right, affirmed by the Supreme Court in Pierce versus Society of Sisters, stands as a testament to the essential role that the family plays in shaping the future of society and Western civilization. Pierce should be celebrated by everyone committed to liberty and individual government. In 1922, Oregon voters passed the Compulsory Education Act. Fun fact, it was backed by the Ku Klux Klan. It aimed to eliminate private and religious schools and assimilate religious parents into public education, stripping them of their right to be able to choose the best educational opportunity for those children. But thanks to the courage of its challengers, the Supreme Court unanimously struck it down, saying that yes, the act did violate the liberty of parents to direct their children's upbringing. And in so doing, it reminded the state that it should never believe it owns the nation's children. American children belong to their parents, and parents alone are the best suited, not government officials, to make decisions regarding those children's education, moral development, overall well-being, and upbringing. Pierce wasn't just a legal ruling. It was a reaffirmation of individual liberty, rights that are parental, pre-political, natural, and existent since the dawn of civilization. Pierce echoes throughout history to this day, 100 years later. It and its progeny stand to secure the primacy of parental rights to raise our children according to our convictions. Parenting, as Justice McReynolds reminded the nation in the related case, Meyer versus Nebraska in 1923, is among the privileges long recognized at common law as essential to the orderly pursuit of happiness by free men. But today, parental rights are under unprecedented attacks. In a few weeks, the court behind us will determine a case, Mahmoud versus Taylor, in which it will be answering the question of whether or not Montgomery County Public Schools' failure to allow opt-outs for religious parents for LGBTQ-themed curriculum for 4- and 5-year-olds was a violation of those parental rights. More than 1,200 school districts across the country hide gender identity information of minor children from their parents, many openly lying about those children's gender identity. That puts 12 million American school kids in the crosshairs between the school and the parents, we know, who know best. Washington State permits minors 13 and older to receive so-called gender-affirming care without parental input, processes that often start in Washington State community schools at their health clinics. 29 states and the District of Columbia permit sexual orientation and gender identity determinations when making foster care placements for needy children. Families pre-exist the state. They are not political entities. They are not in partnership with the federal government or the state government. Schools of any kind exist to support parents in their educational responsibilities, but they remain subordinate to parents. No Joe Biden, no Randy Weingarten, no Becky Pringle, no Hillary Clinton. They don't belong to all of us. I have the stretch marks to prove it. Let us carry forth today the legacy of Pierce. Let us stand firm in protecting parental rights. Let us always remember that a child's greatest educators, its greatest advocates, are the loving parents who guide them with wisdom, care, and unwavering dedication. Thank you.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Congresswoman Kat Kamak, proudly representing Florida's 3rd Congressional District, but also here representing the sunshine and free state of Florida. Yeah. I want to thank Moms for Liberty and all our amazing parents, but also colleagues that I have the distinct honor to serve with for being here. Your advocacy is incredible, and we simply couldn't do it without you. I'd also like to thank our lone protester for highlighting the mental health crisis in our country. Bless your heart, as we would say in the South. You know, it was just 100 years ago that the Supreme Court issued a landmark decision in Pierce versus Society of Sisters that delivered a clear and powerful message. Children are not mere creatures of the state. In doing so, the court affirmed that a parent's role in guiding their child's education is not only essential, but also constitutionally protected. Parents are not obstacles to children's education. They are the foundation of it. Silencing a parent's voice is not only wrong, as we're seeing here today, but it is harmful to our children. No one knows a child better than their parent. Not a school, not a government agency, and certainly not a bureaucrat. Now, as an expectant mother, I'm about a little over 7 months along, and only the 14th woman in history to give birth while serving, I feel this truth more deeply than ever. Protecting our kids does not start when they take their first breath. It starts in the womb. The love, the responsibility, and the duty that come with raising a child are profound. And it is not something that can or should be outsourced. As Tina and all of the amazing Moms for Liberty have stated, we do not and will not co-parent with the government. This is why we all proudly supported the Parents' Bill of Rights Act and other pro-parent legislation that is common sense, restores transparency and accountability in our schools. Legislation that is built on the 5 key pillars that safeguard parents' rights to know what is being taught in schools, what the reading material is, to be heard, and to see school budgets and spending, and to protect their children's privacy, also being updated on any activity at the school. This is common sense. This is what we support. So again, it is truly an honor to be here to support our incredible parents in the defense of a parent's fundamental right to love, protect, and lead their child through life. Secretary McMahon, thank you for your leadership and being absolutely a courageous woman of faith and determination. Together, we will all shape a better future for generations to come. And to bring it home, I gotta bring up Miss Tina. She's gonna lead us in a little chant. So hang out for just a sec.
I think we'll close out today. I want to thank everybody for coming today and joining us, but let's leave with a good old USA chant to drown out our friend over there. USA! 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 USA!
First Amendment rights. So, I got to tell Shar that we get a picture, and I'm also down here. You tell everybody back to there.
Here. Now that y'all are not going to get
I can take that.
Hey, Parker, my phone is in that box.
Got it. All right. Keely, did you get it? Looking right here. One. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Looking at the big camera. All right, you're good.
I have never heard